which is in lab 3. It's a basic idea how you can create a malware using Kali Linux utilities. Okay, but please make sure you enable your network. For me, I have two network interface card enabled. One using NAT and another one using host only, because I want the internal IP address here. So I want to use Ethernet 1 for communication between this Kali Linux data to with the other virtual machine in host environment. Okay, maybe you can also disable first your net if you don't want to access to internet. This is also very good practice where when you create your payload later, you did not share with outside. Okay, for this one, you need to see the super important safety rules. So this lab can be 1 hour, but with some explanation, maybe I can take more, right? We will create a real malware, but only inside our virtual machine. So we do not want to attack or to share with other VM or other outside network yet. Okay, only internally. All right, this rule only work inside your Kali virtual machine. Then we need to take a snapshot before we start to save point. Okay, like a save point line in the video game later, we can roll back. And then never run this tool on your real computer because it will affect your machine, okay, your host. Like this one in virtual machine, no issue. So that later we can roll back. And never share the malware file. So you just create internally first. Never use the skill on the system you don't own. This is the ethics. Okay, you need to follow this course name as ethical hacker. So you need to follow all the ethics. This is why the rule matter, right? But one, what you will create today. First, our mission here actually to create Trojan, like a bad guy do, one of the malware Trojan. And then watch what it does, what this Trojan can do, right? And then test if the antivirus can catch it or not. And simulate denial of service attack. And lastly, you need to document everything that you do. You did like a professional hacker, ethical hacker. Okay, these are the terms that you need to know before you start. What is malware? It's malicious software, bad software that hurt computer. Normally, there are multiple type of malware, include Trojan, viruses, and others. Okay, for Trojan, this is one type of malware that hides something. Looks good, but they are malicious intent. Example here, like fake Netflix apps, instill password. And then the payload. What is the payload term? This is harmful part inside the malware itself. Maybe there are many payload can be embedded in one malware, like poison inside candy. Reverse shell, victim computer called the hacker. Reverse shell, where we will try later. The example, like your phone auto dialing a stranger. Sometimes we don't know, we don't aware about that. Listener, this is hacker tools waiting for the calls, like answering the phone calls. So you just wait if any victim will call you, right? The hash, unique fingerprint of a file. This is the hash function algorithm. Okay, and then we will see about the DOS attack, flooding website to crash it, or any services that you want to make it unavailable for the legitimate user. But though just setting up, I think most of you already have your Kali Linux. Okay, and then take a snapshot. This one, mission new, take snapshot. We can put snapshot 2 before step 3. Okay, Okay. Just wait a minute for the snapshot taken over. Okay, done the snapshot. And then we'll try to open your open terminal. This is your terminal. I open already. Then try to find the IP. As I mentioned before, I setting up two virtual Ethernet or virtual network interface card. I have two. The first one I'm using NAC, and then one more Ethernet. The second Ethernet for network interface card is set as a host only. For you, I think the most important is the host only because we will use the internal IP here. Okay. Based on the configuration of VirtualBox. Okay, so like this lah. Mine 56.110, right? So you need to write down your own IP address. For me, this one lah. Okay, next you create your folder, working folder, so that later you will specify which folder you want to store the created payload and also malware. Okay, currently I'm here. I'm inside my home kali. Okay, I can put inside here only lah. No need in my desktop. So I did just make deal. Okay, got malware lab pretty right. Click malware lab. Okay, CD. And then you see, you need to check your path. Okay, the path now. You can see this is my path. So you will work inside this folder only. Okay, now the task started. Right, you are using the utilities from the Metasploit Framework, call it as msfvenom. This is a professional tool that can be create test malware lah. Security company use it to check if their defense work. This can be used by offensive security and also defense security lah. Right? Think of like a malware factory that make custom Trojan depend on your requirement. Most of the exploit as a service, malware as a service, ransomware as a service, they can use this kind of tools to create customized malware. Okay. For task one, you create basic Trojan without discuss. This mean clean. This mean this very simple one, right? So type this command, replace with your IP address. For example, here. So first of all, we need to understand the put here L mean your Linux or the local host IP and local virtual machine port lah. not select, right? Select. You can type one by one. For this, you can see what are the information. So I need to change my IP 56. Oh, sorry, 56.110, and then we will use local host port 4444, right? Got that for. Okay, and then you can see here, this is the msvenom, the tools that we will use, and then -p, the payload. Windows in, we will make a Windows Trojan that call the home, and the interpreters, the tools inside the Metasploit. And then this reverse TCP will call later, will make a call to the local host, our local host here. This is our IP. Will call us, call our virtual machine using this port number. And then the file format, F execute, that's mean the executable format of the malware. And then save the name of the malware on the payload as payload execute. So just run. You can see here, payload size like this. No platform was selected yet, no arc selected. It's okay because this is very basic. Work a payload. Okay, no encoder specify, make sure payload size the same, right? So we are using the same customized payload. Okay, funnel size not available here. Command not found. Okay, maybe we run again. Just okay, maybe this one need to change. Okay, because when you paste, copy paste, they will use will give you different character. So just run back. Now you see your payload has been saved as payload basic.exe. So we can put here, okay, inside this folder, the payload basic.exe have been created. So the payload size a bit smaller than this manual. So okay, look, so this can be put size same, but the final payload different. Maybe the compression algorithm use different. Okay, next we will create encoded Trojan with this guy's capability. So why we use it? Why you encode it? Because encoding is like putting on this guys. It's make it harder for antivirus to recognize. You want to hide bit about the information about the characteristic about the signature, right? Because most of the time nowadays, malware, especially the rootkit, right? They are working in stealthy mode. It looks like a demon process uh, without end user aware because they did not consume significant resources. So meaning a bit difficult for anti-malware and other security solution to detect. All right, now one more time, type this command. Let me just copy first lah. So similarly, we need to make sure the command are correct. Okay. So same reverse TCP, lhost, our IP here. We will use 192.168.56.110. Same local port and Shikata Nagai, right? So this is the exploit, the payload, right? You see here, EX86, the architecture, and Shikata Nagai is really the encoded type that used for this guy's method, okay? And then minus I apply for this guys 5 times. Okay. Same, the file name payload encoded. Yes. The first one we're using payload basic, but this one with the encoded capability. Then already payload already created and saved. You can check. Okay, we have 2 payload already. This one a bit smaller payload, right? For in the lab manual, both only 73K, but for us about 7K only. It's okay. Now get the file fingerprint using hash so that we can try to find the footprint about the fingerprint of the malware. Just using MD5 features. 95. This is for MD5. Now the option you can use SHA-256. So also you can see when you use 256, the value longer. So possibility of duplicating that lower compared to MD5. But both can be used to identify the identity or the fingerprint of the file. So you can take this value and later you can copy and paste in the notepad or whatever. Write down the hash value, how many kilobyte, if encoding or not. Now we're setting up the listener who will call us. Okay. When someone run our Trojan, is phone home to us. Listener is like our phone that answer that calls. So we will start the Metasploit framework. So what is Metasploit? The world's most popular pen test tools. You can think of it as a hacker Swiss Army knife. The best utilities for the hacker, but for good guy, but actually can be used by the bad guy as well for their learning purpose, for their creating the bad side. Right? Yes. Type msf console. Need to wait from half to the 1 minute. Okay. Now you see the exploit from from Rapid 7 have been started. Okay. So this main method is ready for your command. So now configure the handler. So before that, what is handler? This is the specific tool that catch connection from our Trojan that we created. This type this one command one by one and press enter after each. First, use exploit. Right. Right. The handler. And set payload window meter reverse TCP because this to get the payload that we created. Okay. Okay. Then set our IP address. Host 2.168.56.110. Please remember your own IP. Okay. And set local port. Same, you will use control 4. Taken into account. And then what else? Can show the option. Show me what I configured. Okay, to check back, to verify. Two. So what? Then start listening. Put exploit. This is the keyword exploit. Okay. Now started reverse TCP handler on our local host and local port. Okay. Waiting for any other connection. So what would happen if someone ran our Trojan? So that if the Trojan was executed on Windows computer, we'll see this particular message, sending stage, the session open, and others. Later we'll try to run it again, but this lab only to create the Trojan first. And then this is the meter command. Explain for you. If we had a session, this command would work, for example, to find the information of the computer using sysinfo, system information. The info that's mean what are the version operating system they use and so on. Get user ID, show current folder, ls, download secret txt, steal the file, upload the virus, and other, right? You can take the photo from the webcam, you can take a screenshot, and also get the password hash. You can steal the password. So this is how the Trojan can help. As long as the malware or the Trojan have been clicked and execute. Okay. Why is scary? Hacker can see everything you type because they can screen capture. They can see your screen, right? Then you can steal your file. You can watch you through your webcam. This is how. So this is normal, commonly used by the trainer as well when they want to demonstrate how the hacking works. Okay. Next, in part 5, we try to see antivirus detection of the specific malware. So what we will testing, we want to see can antivirus catch our Trojan or not. Okay, because antivirus has the database, their signature database. Okay, over the world in virustotal.com, they can found any specific malware, specific signature can be recognized on it. Okay, can be detected. So for that, we try to understand antivirus detection mechanism. First of all, antivirus normally will use signature detection. This is most common, where antivirus has huge database of malware fingerprint or hash, and at the same time, they also you can use some sort like the behavior based and others, right? This one signature based. How it works? You download a file, antivirus calculate the hash compared to the database of non-malware hash. If match found, it will block. Okay, this is how the malware detect. If the malware have been evolved, then it will be difficult to detect because the hash value itself will already change. Weaknesses: one catch new malware not in the database. That means the zero-day attack based malware will be undetected. Method 2, anti-malware also can use heuristic detection, behavior based. So antivirus normally will watch what program do. Okay, for any suspicious behavior. For example, trying to record the keys through accessing the webcam without permission, connection to unknown servers, for example, the CNC, or command and control servers, modifying the file system, modify the data so that the hash value can be changed. So this can be detected as well. So sometimes this type of anti-malware, antivirus, they combine together with host-based detection, host-based integrity measurement, and other method sandboxing. Normally, this type of method they will run the suspicious file in virtual background first to see what they do, control environment, and then they will decide based on the behavior. So the testing concept here, in the real test, we would copy payload basic exe to Windows VM with antivirus enabled. If the antivirus can detect or not, but it still depends on the antivirus that you install on top of your Windows. Then repeat with the payload is encoded and compare detection rate. But you can see expected result, the payload basic can be detected immediately, but payload may be detected, but maybe not, depend on the strength of anti-malware, antivirus. So they come up with discuss capability. Now, this is the discussion question for your own discussion, right? Why might consider payload evade detection and others? This one you can try to find the answer by yourself. Okay. Next, we will move to the virus total concept when we can check the malware using the hash value only. What is virus total? It's a website that check the file against 70 plus antivirus engine. So there are well-known antivirus engine that can use to found any antivirus engine that has specific information or signature of the specific hash value that we check, where that we check. Okay. example. Okay, this is example. So you can go for virus total later, search for ND5 and it will show this. For example, for payload basic, there are 45 engine detected as a malware, but for payload included only 12 of it. So this is how the evade or the encoded can help the malware from being detected by the commercial or the well-known malware engine or antivirus engine. Okay, so you can try to find it. Total. So you can upload the file or you can search using the hash. Okay, example here I created. So I can try to go back and copy my hash value, hash file for basic malware, basic payload. Can expect there are more search for more. What happened here? More engine can detect it. Right? Hash. Or you can drop. For example, here I just use file, right? You can use my home payload basic. Okay. Upload it. Can be detected or not. Okay. There are some engine detected. There are some engine also not detected. So here, some of it cannot. Ours cannot process that file. Alibaba did not detect. Baidu did not detect. So popular threat label, the most many majority of the antivirus engine detect this file as Trojan shell code. So the signature itself, right? So we can see how many. Trojan, right? So not somebody. So you can see here, I can calculate from 100, for example, there are not any engine cannot detect, but most of the engine can be detected. Okay, this is the analyze based on this sandbox report. See here, from 72, there are 55 vendor flag this as a malicious payload basic. Okay. Okay, very basic, right? Easy to detect. With encoded enable, you can see how many malware engine can detect this. Here, you can see here. 50, the first one, 55. Second one, how much? Maybe because we already create many times, then we can detect lah. So a bit lower, 47 compared to 55. Okay, so there are some different. Similarly, when if let's say you are uh, SOC analyst, SOC analyst can use this virus total also to search for specific malware. For example, if let's say your client or the company server have been compromised, then you try to find there are some file that you found is not uh, intended or not should be there. So you can try to find is it that particular file is malware or not. There are also some malware samples sent to you, shared to you from the user. You can also find, for example, from the email attachment and others. You can use this virus total uh, to verify it. Okay, this is the example. This is how the virus total work, right? Previously they are very low, but now they can detect too many times we run. Okay, already know the pattern. Next, about the DOS attack. What is the DOS? Denial of service. This happen when you flood the computer or website, web server, the network, or whatsoever services with so much traffic that it can't handle a real user anymore. So mean the real user or the legitimate user will suffer for denial of attack. The service, they cannot access the service because the attacker have been utilized all the resources of the server or the services. Example, imagine 10,000 people trying to enter a store through a single door. Nobody can get in. So example, right? The type of DOS attack, volume-based attack, applied with massive amount of data to use all the bandwidth. It's using the network, UDP, ISMP, and others. So then normally they use also, they can be used for protocol attack, exploit weaknesses in the network protocol. For example, use sync flag and application layer. Normally, application layer will specifically target HTTP and others in application layer. Now we try to understanding the sync flag, which is commonly used by the attacker. What is TCP3? We handshake. So normally in our normal connection, your computer will use these three-way handshake. First, when you want to connect to the server, you will send the sync packet to the server asking, hey, I want to talk. Hey, I want to connect with you. Okay, and then the server, your computer also, the server itself will reply or acknowledge to your computer and say, sure, let's talk. I'm here, I'm live, for example, right? Sync server at the sync. And then your computer will go for the third way or the third stage. You will acknowledge with the server. Great, yeah, go. So mean you will verify both. You ask, and then the server agree, and then you reply again. Okay, to verify. But how the sync flood attacks work? For example, you will send many times for the first part, first stage, sync to the server. Hey, I want to talk, without stop, right? For example, million of time, never completing. So mean the server cannot reply because it keep receiving your message, keep receiving your uh, sync. So the server keep waiting for reply that never come. Eventually crashing. You only put hey, you want to talk, but you didn't put great. Here we go, right? This is the thing. Other than this, we have also HPing3 tools. What is these tools? This is network testing tool that can send custom package. It's like the Swiss Army knife, so that um, we only discuss, don't run on your target. Okay, this is how it's work. When you're using this sync flight command, for example, HPing -S flight P8 for the target IP, so on. You can see here, HPing the tools name we'll use as sensing package S is the same. And then flight send fast as possible, send million per second. And then we'll target port HTTP port, right? Then the IP. So what will happen? The target will get overwhelmed. Then can't respond the real user, and then website become unavailable because you send. You want to connect to the main website, for example, without acknowledge. You just send request only. So this is the famous denial of service attack, distributed denial of service attack. Okay, you can go for your literature. You can find how this works. So this is the mitigation strategies, what you can do, and why you see this. Okay, the DOS attack is common. Right? So how to mitigate? You can do it like this. The firewall can limit your sync cookies with filtering layer 1, layer 2, layer 3 anymore, right? And then load balancing. If they say your load balancing can detect utilization higher than threshold, you can stop. You can block the source of the packet. Okay, that's all for the concept of DDoS and DOS. Now you try to clear out your net because you already created the malware. Now I want you to stop the Metasploit and delete the malware. Oops, sorry. Just suspend. Okay, control X, Z, and then delete the malware. Remove. You can remove profile. Sorry. See, no more malware file. Okay, so you can select clean before the net and go to. Now everything is clean. So you cannot see here. It's okay later. You will run the clean snapshot in your environment. Okay, that's all for the malware lab. Okay, thank you. See you in the next lab.